Igor and I stand upon the cusp of creating life out of death.
Mr. Frankenstein.
Victor, please.
I find your promise more than a little unsettling.
Igor, speak up. What do you think?
Everyday science and technology changes the way we live our lives.
Well said, that man.
Life and death are different.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Monster Madness. Tonight, we are covering the film Victor Frankenstein, recently from 2015, starring Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy.
You mean Harry Potter and Split?
You mean James McAvoy?
Is that what I messed? Is that how bad I butchered it? Oh, yeah, I messed it up pretty good.
That's staying there.
I couldn't remember his name, so I just called him.
If you're wondering, I'm your host, Daniel Gwynn, tonight, and with me sitting on the couch is this lovely lady.
Hi, I'm Erica Gwynn, and Daniel is turned up to an 11 tonight. Oh my God, you are.
Matt's laughing his ass off.
So the face you gave him when he started yelling louder and louder.
I know, because he's like, and this right next to me is what? I'm like, oh my God. It was so abrasive.
Just for all our fans that are possibly watching, wearing my Harry Potter shirt tonight.
Oh, in honor of Daniel Radcliffe?
In honor of my man. My buddy, Daniel Radcliffe.
Matt, you still have to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
That cackle you heard with Matt Stein.
Yep. I'm over here just laughing like a little girl. It's all right. I started crying. I was laughing so hard.
I know. I don't think I've ever heard you laugh that hard.
We both know. We all know the only other time that's happened on the internet.
Enter Danny Glover.
Yes.
You'll have to go listen to Podcast of Terror episode with Randy Fitzsimmons where they talk the Saw movies. I can't remember which episode number it is off the top of my head, but Saw 1 and 2 with Randy Fitzsimmons on Podcast of Terror. And you will get that inside joke. I'm going to link it in the bio.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's amazing. It's literally my all-time favorite episode of Podcast of Terror. Matt gets incredibly drunk.
Yeah. We still have Saw 3 through 8 to go through.
And I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm just gonna put those episodes on like a playlist, and whenever I'm sad, I'm just gonna watch them or listen to them rather. I can watch them too because they're on YouTube.
Yeah,
on the tube.
Enough about me. Let's talk about Harry Potter and Split.
Be careful, Mr. Frankenstein. You toy with wrathful forces, and there's no mercy in nature.
All right.
Victor Frankenstein.
How about this movie? This movie is a doozy. So this movie starts off with that beautiful hunchback Daniel Radcliffe in a clown costume in like the center of a circus. And they go into like a big speech on how he's this clown. They don't really tell you how he got there, but he's there.
He's just always been there.
He helps out with like the doctor, I guess, within the circus. And then it's like you find out it's a big hobby of his.
Yeah, he's really interested in medical stuff.
He's into drawing and looking into medical stuff. And he kind of like when he sees things in the medical field, he kind of gets like a sixth sense. Like he can kind of like see the organs and stuff through people's bodies. The way that they perceive it.
What they were trying to do here, and Matt, look this up real quick. When did Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. come out?
I totally was going to make this an
because it does. And so was I. Damn.
Yeah, because we're all on the same level. That's why we're on a podcast together.
Dun, dun, dun.
So when this movie first started, I was like, all right, this has potential. And then I saw those, because when they look at lions moving in people's bodies and stuff like that, they're kind of like seeing them in an x-ray and how they work. And my first thought was that they are trying to touch on the whole Sherlock Holmes thing, how he could figure out a problem and all this other stuff in his head in like a split second. And I didn't hate it. I really liked the way this movie was going.
Yeah, I thought it had a good start.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like, the story of Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah, because you
don't know is about like, I guess like
you have Daniel Radcliffe's character Igor. Eventually, he's Igor, narrating the whole thing. And I'm going to say this probably like 15 times during this episode, and I know I am because I really feel it. On paper, this movie sounds great.
Amazing. Yeah,
sounds great. Fucking great. Continue, Daniel, with Hunchback.
So we're at Hunchback. He's in the circus. They're performing for the town finally, and he's fixated on this girl, this trapeze artist that's up in the ceiling.
She was pretty.
And he's watching her, and eventually she falls. And then out out of the crowd comes, we don't know his name yet, but it's Victor Frankenstein. And they approach the girl and they're like, what is her collarbones broken?
clavicle.
And her clavicle and her shoulders popped out.
Yeah.
And it's pushing on like her lung, and the
She
bone's
can't breathe.
broken into the other lung and she can't breathe. So they use that. How would you describe that?
It looks like it's the pocket watch. He takes a pocket.
No. They're still looking like through the body.
The X-ray. They have
They have like that X-ray vision type.
Yeah,
They're looking through, and then they kind of like, the light bulb blinks between both of them that like, oh, you can do it too. And then they're like, they kind of like talk in like little language, like, do you have a pocket watch?
Well,
And then he like goes to push on the bone, and then he realizes that, oh, you're also a doctor.
Well, here's the thing. Victor Frankenstein is a student of medicine, and he didn't even think of trying to lift the bone somehow so she could breathe. I'm going to say Igor, I know him, but Igor was the one who thought of it. So, I mean, he ain't that smart, because he's just like, oh yeah, there's nothing I can do. She's going to die. She can't breathe.
And
He's like, give me your damn pocket watch.
Yep. And then he, boom,
yeah.
pushes the bone back in, and all of a sudden she can breathe. And then he kind of, hunches around and walks back.
He did the whole
like move the hump
crab
type
walk
thing.
really well.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's supposed to be about like 18 years old, 20, and he's had this hunchback for a majority of his life.
And then Victor's like talking to the people of the circus, like, who is that man?
Yeah, and then he disappears into the crowd until later.
Until later that night, when I guess the leader of the circus kind of was like, how dare you like talk to him? He took all his belongings, started burning them, and they put him up in this cage. Kind of like a lion's cage.
Hunchback / Igor, Daniel Radcliffe, long-haired Harry Potter, has a bunch of medical books that he studies when he has his free time. So like medicine and all that anatomy is like his obsession. He's really, I guess because he has problems, he kind of likes to learn about stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't want to get too far into it because I know Dan likes to give detailed descriptions of every scene in the movie.
God damn, he does.
But I think I hated the fact that Victor Frankenstein was just like, hey man, you're not really deformed. That's just a cyst. Let me take care of that for you.
Oh, when we get to that, I have things to say.
Oh,
I have a lot of things to say.
So do I. But
Dan, you always have a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, that's your element of the show. Matt is Wikipedia. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle.
And I watched the movie like 3 or 4 times.
I don't know why you waste your time.
I don't even know I watched this one once.
Well, I mean, we're getting there. And the next Frankenstein.
We're in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's pretty much almost there. We can kind of skip to it.
What are you talking? Does this movie have a tagline?
Yeah.
What's the tagline? Say it.
I kind of want to make you guess, but I know you won't get it right.
It's alive again.
Oh God, no! That would be Victor Frankenstein 2.
I know.
The Victoring. No, the tagline is "Meet your makers."
What?
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah, and it's these two
They didn't even
dildos
die.
looking all suave. Well, I mean, I get it. It's they're
I know, I
making-
get
They're
it.
the-
It's
yeah.
just
They're
really
the
bad.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Do you know how much this budget was on this movie?
$65 million.
Holy shit! What did you say, Dan?
Probably a lot.
I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a small amount.
$65 million.
Nope, too high.
No?
60?
40
The fuck are you talking about? No, it wasn't, because I looked this up.
budget. 40 million.
And wait, no, maybe I was looking at another movie.
Dumbass.
Yeah, that was probably the budget for like Dracula Untold, to be honest.
No, what was the gross of this movie?
Maybe that you got that.
Box office was 34.2 million.
Yeah, no. Are you looking at IMDb?
No, I'm looking at Wikipedia.
Oh, no. On IMDb, it says 65.
Let me see. Not
Because that's a problem. I think that's a fucking question.
oh, hell yeah, it
Oh,
is.
man.
You cheating son of a bitch. That's cool.
I'll forget.
Something to note, I always generally like to see what the budget and the box office are in movies.
All right, well,
I used to look at the
don't look, because I don't want you to... No, well, you already answered
the
that.
Rotten
Fuck.
Tomato thing.
You son of a bitch. Well, that's 2 questions off questions of the day. It's going to be a 3.
On. Well, so basically we're already 1-1.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
It's gonna be-
There is so little trivia about this movie because it sucks so bad. I
Yeah,
had
it's
to
pretty bad.
pull
All you have
from
to do is
that.
watch the movie and come up with something.
I couldn't. It was that bad.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we only have 3
all right.
questions.
The box office on IMDb is estimated 65 million.
Ew.
So, so opening weekend was 2.4 million. Gross USA was 5.7 million, but cumulative worldwide gross is 34.2 million.
That's so bad.
No,
They
that's not
didn't-
good at all. It didn't even
They
make
didn't-
its budget back.
Nope. They didn't even break even.
I wonder how much they paid Harry Potter and Split to be in this movie,
Well, I would say James McAvoy less than Daniel Radcliffe.
especially at this point.
For sure. Because, let's
He
see.
had more stuff coming out.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011. And then you
Oh,
have...
all right.
So that was 3 or 4... Because I think they filmed this movie in 2013.
Yep.
And it didn't come out for 2 years.
Why'd they wait so long?
Because they probably couldn't find anybody who wanted to fucking...
Because everyone probably knew it was a pile of shit and didn't want to.
Yeah. But like I said, on paper, this movie is awesome.
Mhm.
It's literally the Frankenstein story through the eyes of his assistant. That's a really cool spin.
It is, but they kind of think they like junked up some of the stuff.
They
Like,
did
I
for
didn't-
sure.
Like in some of the parts, I like that. Like they go into the drawings and everything,
yeah.
but you don't.
Like the
It's so
science.
fast. It's so fast. You don't even know what you're really looking at.
You mean like the science?
Yeah, I mean, like they kind of briefed on it, like, oh, look at the eyes and everything that we'll eventually get to. But
Yeah.
All
right,
like,
get to the whole rescue part because I really
Alright.
want to talk about this scene where
We're
he
getting to it,
fucking
so-
siphons the
So
the
here
abscess.
we go. So Frankenstein comes back. He
Look at
sees
those
that he's locked up
crescent
in a
moons.
cage, and so Frankenstein comes back, sees that he's locked up in a cage, pulls out of the super magnet, and is like, "Come with me. You know, I can take you away from here." And then they're kind of thinking back and forth. Escapes from there. The guys chase after him within the circus. Fire happens. Few people die.
Yeah, this was really extreme. This is where I knew that things were not going to go my way when I was watching this because I'm like, why is this an action scene?
Yeah, and they kind of do like a little slow mo stuff here and there. And
Yeah, it doesn't-
just does. It's not really like it's not. You don't need it.
Doesn't Patricia like actually like jump off like a crate too to like dodge someone
Well,
as he's running?
Radcliffe throws like a bottle full of alcohol on on a box.
Oh, yeah, and
then he
somehow-
like jumps over the box, somehow lights it, and then like the guy catches on fire. And then the next guy runs into a tent, and it's like a mirror. What is it, like one of those?
Oh yeah,
mirror
it's like a fun.
houses?
Yeah, it's a mirror house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he's like kind of stands in a certain way so the other guy sees him in the mirror, throws a knife, hits the other guy, and then that guy is now dead.
Oh yeah, no, he's
You'd
definitely
assume.
dead. He's 100% dead. He got
And
knifed.
then they run into the big circus tent and they're like, where are we going to go? And supposedly there's a huge sewer entrance right in the middle of the tent. And then they, everybody's like, where'd they go? Obviously they went to the sewer
Clearly.
and they got away. And then they're at Victor Frankenstein's house.
Okay, I need to
And
take
now
over.
you can talk
I
about
know,
your favorite part of the movie.
No, I need to take over for a second because I have such issues with this scene. This is when I knew that the movie was going to suck balls. Okay, so they get into his little apartment laboratory thing, and immediately Victor Frankenstein is very abrasive. Now, I understand throughout this entire movie that they're trying to make him out to be this mad scientist, but all he simply had to say was, "Hey man, you think you're a hunchback because your spine's crooked? No. I can tell that that's an abscess. Let me help you out." But instead, he abrasively attacks Igor.
He assaulted him.
Puts him up against a pole.
Yeah, and stabs him in the back and then siphons out his goddamn abscess into a bowl.
With his mouth
That's what
to get it started.
that's what
And
siphoning
I was like,
is.
That
was rough.
You can use a pump.
Well, clearly, Daniel, we're in like 18 something, and we don't have a pump. And he was attacking him with a giant ass needle. I don't think we had the time.
Yeah.
But I did not get that.
Radcliffe's just there taking it.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. He grew up in a circus. You know he's scrappy as hell. He could have gouged an eye out because I would have. Because he's like, what are you trying to do to me? Why would he not just explain to him, like, hey man, I just want to help you out because you are not a hunchback.
And then he pulls out this bondage gear, like the weirdest freaking back brace I've ever seen in my life.
That he just has completely.
It's like out of the. Oh, here it is. It's like right on the table.
Yeah,
here.
look, this is perfectly going to fit you and it's going to straighten your back out.
Yeah.
Are you really
And
going
then-
to tell me that you don't have a back brace closet?
Not in this house.
Call bullshit.
I call bullshit on you.
So that was weird. And then right away he gets his name. He's
Well,
like,
yeah.
you know what? You should live here, and I'm gonna name you Igor
Well, now-
because my roommate, he's not here anymore, and his name is Igor.
Yeah, he's like, so if anybody asks, you're him. oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then, like, Daniel Radcliffe is just like,
I have a name.
no, I have a name. I'm not in the circus. My name is Igor, and I can walk.
I have everything. And then he goes into the shower scene, like, go clean up.
Yeah.
And then we get a nice little shower scene, him getting all dirty and getting all the grime off.
Okay, can you just
Starts cutting his
imagine
hair.
if you were bent? Okay, first of all, I'm not a doctor.
Oh, we forgot about the part where he runs into he grabs him, runs into the wall, into the column, and pops his back in the place.
That's what I just said. Where were you? I just talked about that.
I missed it. I was too busy thinking.
That's what
ahead.
being married
I
is.
was too busy thinking ahead.
I know, but okay. I'm not a doctor. Disclaimer: very much not a doctor.
What?
Everybody,
I feel like I've been duped.
Good thing we got that recorded.
But if you were in such a state with your back crouched like that for almost 2 decades, you would have a spine curvature.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't just put on a weird sexual apparati and stand up straight.
Do you think that the back crack would feel amazing?
Oh, guaranteed.
Oh, like it was just
No, I think it would be blinding pain.
Actually,
it's like it's like cracking a knuckle that you've been dying to do for years. 18 years. He's probably been like, man, I wish I could just stretch this thing out.
I don't think you understand how much pain he would be in if his literal fucking body was just jolted straight.
He probably would have actually passed out.
He probably would have died.
Guaranteed, yeah.
You think he would have died? Like some blood? Something weird?
Yeah, I feel like there would have been like something wrapped up in his spine at that point because his body's all messed up.
I mean,
and you have to think he's been taking. Okay, I know I'm going a little too deep into it because it's a really shitty movie, but that just bothered me so badly because it's just like, why don't you just try a little bit? But keep going because I have more controversial things to say as we go down the line.
All right. Well, that ends it for that kind of scene.
Yeah, so okay, just to recap, Victor has stolen the hunchback from the circus. His name is now Igor, and they're going to live happily ever after.
Yep. That's why this is all happening. Back at the circus, we get to meet the inspector for the first time, who was hired to find out why all these people are dead and to find the culprit, which is now the hunchback, Igor, and Victor Frankenstein. Why he's there, he finds a pouch, and inside of it is a lion's
paw.
Lion's paw. So I guess there's been a bunch of incidents throughout the neighborhood. Bunch of animal parts have gone missing.
That's not weird.
And now he's like, maybe this is the same suspect. So now there's all these wanted posters for Igor all over the place. And then we get back to Victor Frankenstein's house. Igor's now out of his shower. He has all this nice clothes, sleeps the night away, wakes up, and he gets this lovely note from Victor who tells him to go into town and kind of experience it for the first time.
Yeah, and he goes and checks on his girl.
Yep. And he goes and gives her, he gives the nurse, I guess, some money because nobody's kind of paying attention. I guess back then, people just, I guess they were, kind of just left there to rest and die.
Where does he get money and clothes that fit him?
Oh, of course. The old Igor was the same size.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Duh.
Come on.
Duh.
That's why he picked him.
Dumbass.
If
I insult myself, you can't do it.
I know.
So he went from rags to like kind of riches here.
Literal.
And like he wouldn't even know how to put one of those ties on.
Oh yeah, he's dressed to the nines. Like he's wearing like an ascot and everything. Yeah. Oh, I just sounded really Philadelphia. Ascot.
Yep.
Ascot.
I know what a fucking ascot is.
I know. I just needed to correct myself for me. Just wait until we start talking about water and shit. Oh, man. People don't know what that word means.
No, I just saw a really funny internet joke. And since you're both football fans, I have to tell you.
Tell me.
Hit us.
What do Chick-fil-A employees and Antonio Brown have in common?
They don't work on Sundays?
Exactly.
Boom!
That was a good one.
I'm too smart.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
After his visit to...
Wow.
I guess I'm going to I'll try not to butcher her name. How do you say it? Lorelai?
Lorelai?
Lorelai.
How many times did you watch this movie?
like 17
3 times, but they only say her name like
They
4
say it-
times.
No, they say it a lot because he's like, I was with Lorelai. Where were you? I was with Lorelai.
Yeah, he's
like over and over again. He's
love
like,
of my life,
Lorelai.
Oh yeah, I missed it. Now you got it.
And you used to I'm gonna pull a veil off here. You used to watch Gilmore Girls, so you know that the
I
main
don't know how to
character,
spell it.
Lorelai.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Lorelai.
That's even harder is the fact that you watch that show. That's hard to deal with.
It was a good show. I liked it. Guilty pleasure.
There's no such thing as guilty pleasures. You either like it or you don't.
Damn right. Thank you. Oh my God. No, I'm being dead serious. I love that.
Yeah.
I hate when people are just like, oh, it's my guilty pleasure. No, you either fucking like it or you don't.
Yep. So either you like Nickelback or not.
Oh God, here we go again.
I don't like Nickelback, so it's
I do not.
Like I said to you earlier, I really don't get the hate.
bands I do like. Creed.
With arms wide open. I thought you were about to like jam out to like what if.
I was
thought
going
he was
to,
gonna
but
go into it.
You need like a
one, oh, one, the only way. One. Yep, I can do this all night.
Oh God.
Oh, at that.
That's
note,
it. I'm not going to do any more Creed singing ever. But you know,
It's gonna live on the internet forever.
yeah, behind a
And this is why
paywall.
we don't get ads.
All I did was sing Creed.
Exactly.
It's not like I
Polarizing. It's
pledged allegiance
polarizing.
to the Dark Lord or anything.
You're rather bad. It's polarizing.
All right, I'm done.
Next, you're gonna bring Guy Fieri into it.
Why does everybody hate him?
Going
He's
to
such a
Flavor
nice
Town.
guy. He's like just because he's got flames
It's
on his
because
shirt.
the people don't like obnoxious people.
He's kind of a caricature of himself, but he made a
Yeah.
lot of money doing it, so good for him.
There's a comedian. Have you ever seen it? I've seen it on Facebook. If I find, I'll tag you guys in it. But it's just like this guy's just like, I'm being dead serious. What did Guy Fieri ever do to anybody except do what he loves and help people?
Well, doesn't he have all those? He has a bunch of charities.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
he does a lot of
shit
good.
ton.
Have you ever seen?
Now his son, I think his son's a chef too now, right?
And something like that. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the picture? It's Guy Fieri, Violent J, and then the singer from Smash Mouth, all in one picture, and like a moon.
No.
Alright.
I also like that you said his name very correctly. You said it with like the roll of the tongue that
Guy
I can't
Fieri.
do.
I mean, that's how
Yeah,
you say it. It was like Guy
I know.
Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Okay, first of all,
No.
don't come at me, either one of you.
I'm.
I can't roll my R's.
There is so much stuff on the internet about Sid Haig passing away that it's starting to get sad. I've never met the guy, and I'm just like, God damn, he seemed like such a decent guy.
I know it is a bummer.
So-
I had a feeling when it like was released a few weeks ago that like he was really sick and was in the ICU. I thought it was like a downward.
Yeah, I had. It wasn't a surprise that this happened.
How old was he?
80.
No shit,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, that motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't-
He's been around. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't think he was 80. I thought he was in his
This
60s.
the guy you were talking about yesterday on the.
Yeah. Which was really
Captain
odd.
Spaulding.
Apparently, he died on Saturday, though.
Yeah, and they just released it
Yeah.
today, which should show you how long ago we recorded this.
Yeah, sometimes when there are references to past things and podcast episode recordings, I always go look up the dates because I'm like, I wonder how long ago this was. That's just me, guys.
Well,
No, that's fine. Continue talking about your shit movie because if you can't tell already, fair listeners, we don't care about this movie that much, but just hit the hot points.
all right. So now he comes. Victor's back, and they're both at the house, Victor's house, and he approaches Igor and goes, I need to show you something, my experiments. And then he shows him the first experiment, the eyes.
Oh, the eyeballs.
So he lights a candle in front of these eyes, and now you can see that they're moving. And Igor kind of like shits all over it, and is just
You
like,
fucked up the nerves.
yeah, you didn't mess, you messed up the nerves.
Idiot.
And then he's like, Victor's like, this is why I love you.
I know. It's like they're.
You need to be my assistant.
It's like
And then
yin
now
and
they
yang.
agree. They agree to become. Well, he agrees to become his assistant.
A power couple.
Yep. And then right away,
like you and Dan.
they just start getting into it. Experiment after experiment. Igor's working on stuff. He's working on it, giving it back to Victor. Victor's walking away into the basement.
Yeah, he's not really sure what
And-
he's working on.
Don't worry, that's just me sending you the picture of Guy Fieri, Smash Mouth, and Violent J.
Okay, I'm not gonna look at it right now.
No.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
Shit. It's not the same one, but it's equally as funny.
The Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's awesome.
They all do look alike.
They do. That's creepy. I don't get the hate. But he doesn't know what he's working on. He's just kind of reconnecting the nerves because Victor doesn't know how to do it and giving it back to him. It's just like these hunks of meat.
It's like animal parts at this point.
Yeah, it's foul.
Yep. And then eventually, Victor, he's like, you kind of hear like these electrical noises, and you kind of hear like he cracked something, like something finally worked, and they decide to go to a party to celebrate.
To celebrate nothing yet.
So they're at a party. They're getting pretty toasty.
Victor's getting
Victor
pretty toasty.
is talking it up, talking about how he starts talking about his experiments.
He started talking about sperm too for a while.
Yeah, he did go on a little tangent about that. And I think at the time everybody's like, what are he talking about? Like,
I don't even know what sperm is.
They're like, what is sperm? So then Igor's like, I need to walk away. He walks away, and who does he see? Lorelai. So he walks up to her and kind of approaches her. She doesn't even realize that it's him.
Not at first.
And then she kind of lovely taps her on taps him on the shoulder.
Harry Potter's creepily staring at her, and then she does like a double take because she recognizes him, but she doesn't know from where. And then she goes up to him and she's like, "Don't I know you?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's me. It's Hunchback. I'm all good now."
Yeah.
Never had a name.
I would have lied. I would have been like, "No, I don't know you, but you're the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen."
What do you think his nickname was? They know.
Hunchback.
Like, you don't think there was nothing else?
Hunchy.
Yeah. Hey, you.
I don't know. All right, and then Victor walks up and kind of breaks up the little lover's quarrel.
Yeah, he doesn't like her.
No, because she kind of speaks her mind.
Yeah, he doesn't like a strong, powerful woman.
Yeah.
Like most men.
Do you think she need no man?
She doesn't. No one needs no man. You don't need anybody but yourself.
Nobody needs no one.
Grammar.
Yep.
Is not a thing.
Mm-mm.
So after that, I guess they also talk and Lorelai tells Igor what her new job is.
Lorelai.
And she's now working.
She's not an escort. She's literally arm candy.
No, she was.
She's the guy's like forever date, but he's not into women, so she just kind of hangs around and pretends to be like his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
What did you have written down?
Well, I perceived it as she worked for the cabaret.
She was an entertainer.
Yep.
Something like that, but more so she was just like this guy's date to places because he wanted dudes.
So an escort?
No, she wasn't. I mean,
by definition, an escort is someone that you just pay to accompany you somewhere.
True, but like when I think of the word escort, I think of like Vegas, and I watch Cops a lot, and every time they're like, "Oh, that's an escort," it's usually a sex worker.
Well, yeah.
They're lying to me, aren't they? In those ads?
Probably.
Now they have playing cards. Supposedly.
You just drink out of your giant red Solo cup.
It's full of delicious water.
Proud of you.
No.
Staying hydrated.
Intervention!
For what? Drinking
too
much
know.
water?
Sometimes being too hydrated is not a good thing.
Well, I'm going to pee all night.
Have you not seen Constantine? When the guy drinks too much?
Yeah, I mean, you can drown yourself drinking too much water.
Only drink a gallon.
That's weird.
Oh, God, I just got a little anxiety. Continue.
Well, you have to drink like 3 gallons in like 2 minutes or something silly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I could barely down the cough medicine I was trying to take last night.
Yeah.
You just have cups. You always leave a cup.
What are you talking about?
Never mind. I don't know where I was going.
Start yelling at you about leaving cups around the house.
Yeah, you dumb bitch! Why are you leaving cups all around the goddamn?
Yeah, that's where it's headed, and he.
Oh no, because our upstairs will turn into signs.
Yep, Merle.
Like there's just water.
No, not Merle. Swing away, Merle.
Oh yeah, he'll always say that when he. I know you're gonna talk about Alyssa does the same thing, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
Well, yeah, because you told me. Because I'm like, yeah, I totally do the same thing.
Yeah,
there's literally
nuts.
1 glass of water by my desk or by my nightstand that I haven't drank in like a week, and I will bring up another one because that one's old and probably has stuff in it. But on our dresser, there's probably at least 3 cups. He probably has 2 on his nightstand because he's just as bad. And once it gets too bad, we're always just like, swing away, Merle, because we'll be like walking down the stairs and we look like a busboy with like these glasses stacked. It's bad.
Yep.
It's really bad. We just watched that the other night too. That movie still holds up.
Yep.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I was terrified the first time I saw it.
He's still scared of that movie. Don't let him fool you.
What is there to be scared about?
At the time, I was scared of the little alien that was like staring into the bedroom.
I mean, it wasn't little. It was like over 6 feet tall,
Yeah,
that
but
alien,
he's
and
like
muscular.
he's on the roof, and then obviously
And it
out of
had
nowhere.
claws.
Yep, and he could camouflage into like anything. Ugh.
That's like my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. Anyway, Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
You're
So
good.
Victor.
That's how much
Why
we
am I
care
saying
about.
sorry? I didn't even fucking do anything.
Because you're a Wisconsinite. Oops,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I know.
So Victor and Igor go back to the house. Finally, drunk Victor's like, come to the basement, and he shows them the experiment.
I wouldn't
his,
trust that.
his room of the experiments, and Igor's like, whoa, this was down here the whole time.
Yeah, I would have totally snuck in that room when he was gone.
Yeah, how the fuck do you not know that?
I am
it's
such
down
a
there?
snoop. I would be down there.
There's all the
first
grates you
day.
can see right through.
Yeah,
Like all he had to do is move the fucking rug.
that's true too. But yeah, then he meets Gordon, right?
Gordon. So Gordon's like an ape that they've been working on this whole time. He didn't realize, all these body parts.
Well, you couldn't really tell.
And they bring Gordon back to life for a couple minutes.
Something
Possibly.
like that. And they do the whole, it's alive.
Yeah, fucking fuck.
Yep. So then they decide, Victor decides, we're going to take this up to the college and show everybody.
Big presentation.
Big presentation. And
Whole
our buddy Igor writes a letter to his new love.
Lorelai.
And it's like, Lorelai, you have to come and see my creation that I'm helping with.
He likes her.
Yep.
You do the same shit.
And then like 6 people show up for this presentation. Literally nobody is
people
there.
leave. Because, okay, so as much as Victor Frankenstein kind of boasts that he's like this genius scientist, nobody takes him seriously at all because he's a fucking buffoon.
Yeah. He's like the Willy Wonka.
Yeah, at least Willy Wonka created good shit. So what if some people turned out to be blueberries?
She had it coming.
She did. She was a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Violet Beauregard.
So they finally bring this monkey to life.
Gordon.
And they're like, like I said, all the people come down to look at it. And just right as they get very close to it, it starts to move and violently try to escape.
And let me just say, it goes ape shit.
Because it's an ape.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh, I'm going to laugh at my own joke. Fuck you both.
Was not.
I've been waiting all day to say that. Because Gordon went ape shit.
And he's like, go get it, Igor. What are you doing here?
Oh yeah, and it's like shooting off like electricity too.
Yeah, it's got, I don't know what it has stuck to it, but
Well, it's probably like the charges that are like loose at the end.
yeah, and they're still live. It's
Mhm.
still
So
charging it up.
just to move past this really quick,
Takes him forever to get this. damn
Igor is
monkey.
like tracking this.
What the fuck?
It takes forever to get this monkey.
It does. Literally, this is like one of the longest part of the movies. Him chasing this monkey down the hallway.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Like, where does this hallway go to?
well, it's a medical facility.
And then he's like,
so-
don't go that way, monkey. And then the monkey agrees and goes into a different
Well,
room.
it's a smart monkey.
And then he turns a corner again, and then they go
It
out the
starts
door.
attacking him.
He tackles it onto a stairwell.
Smart.
And there's like a huge, I don't know, you can't even see the bottom. That's how many stairs.
I think it was just dark
And he's hanging on the edge. Victor finally catches up to him.
and saves
And
Gordon.
he's like, give me Gordon. And he's like, what? Save me. And then he pulls both of them up. And he's like, you have to kill it. And he's like, I don't want to. But then he pulls, a fire extinguisher off the wall and starts
Yeah.
bashing Gordon in the head.
Yeah, he
So
kills
made
him.
up his mind
He's
real
very
quick.
angry, but he kills him. Because, like, Victor's whole thing is, like, imagine a murder victim being able to face their assailant in court and, all this other stuff is to, manipulate life is, like, his obsession, which is always Frankenstein's obsession. But, like, they really take the whole mad scientist route and go crazy in this one.
What does it mean to be all in? It means you're confident you're doing the right thing. You commit to it. For Dominion Energy, we're all in on helping the environment. We're all in on clean energy, all in on solar, all in on building the nation's largest offshore wind farm. We're even capturing the methane from local farms to create renewable natural gas. We're not doing it because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the right thing to do. For your family and friends, your neighbors and your community, for the future, for our planet. Dominion Energy. Actions speak louder.
So then Finnegan, who was another...
What the fuck is Finnegan?
Finnegan's, that's his last name. He's the other
the blonde
doctor.
dude who's
Yeah.
interested. He wants
Yeah.
he wants the
He's the third richest person in there.
yeah, and he wants the army of monkeys.
No.
Doesn't he? Oh
I
no,
don't
no,
think
no,
he
no,
just
no,
wants
no,
him
no,
to
no.
continue his work.
Yeah, no, Victor
he can
says if he
steal it.
wants a whole zoo or army of like monkeys, he's gonna get it. Blah blah blah. Okay, sorry, I took
So
that.
he
way too
approaches
literally.
them and like, what can I do to have you continue your work? And then they decide, we're going to build a man, a great big man.
Sounds intimidating.
Yep. So
Matt just wants to die.
Well, I have something I want to complain about, but I want to wait till we get there.
Are we close?
Nope.
no.
Oh my god, how much longer is this movie?
Well, this part, I mean, Finnegan, they go back.
I
At this
forget.
time, Igor and Victor are kind of like, we can't create this. I can't decide to do this. He goes on a few dates with Lorelai, comes back. While he's entering the house, Victor's father comes up to Igor, doesn't even realize it's a different Igor, and it's like, hey, Igor,
Oh, can
you're
I
looking different after a couple years.
quick
How
note?
about that?
The guy who plays Victor Frankenstein's dad was Butthole Face in Dracula Untold.
I'll be damned.
Butthole Face returns.
The Return of Butthole
So
Face.
Butthole Face walks in. He's all rude.
That's Victor Frankenstein too.
He's all rude.
Victoring.
He walks up to
Return of Butthole Face.
to
I'm gonna make that poster.
That's
he
fine.
walks up to Victor, his son, and goes, Victor, you're nothing like your brother Henry, because he's on the floor drawing, a figure of a man.
Don't step on the heart. I'm like, calm down, the drawing.
So he's like, you're nothing like your brother, and then he just walks out.
Well, yeah, he's basically
then-
complaining because he's not going to school. He's failing all his classes.
And then Igor's like in the room, kind of like, oh, like, hey, what have you been up to? Like, I didn't hear anything.
What's
And
going
he's like,
on?
and then he starts giving him compliments on, you know how we can make this better? You can give this guy two lungs. And they're like, 2 lungs? We can give him 2 hearts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, was
different.
that's not a normal Frankenstein's monster.
Not
thing,
to
is
my
it?
knowledge. They
I think
never
so.
So then Igor's like, go get the whiskey.
They
And
kinda
they start
just
drinking it up. And
sewed a guy together.
yeah.
They didn't add organs. He's not
No.
a cow. It's 6 stomachs.
Right. Well, you can make
Well,
a
they
human
gave
with
him-
6 stomachs.
It seems like they gave him
What?
a lot of stuff.
Just put 6 stomachs in a human.
That doesn't work.
Throw a gizzard inside of one. We can eat grass now.
Okay, move on, Daniel.
Tell me I'm
Okay.
wrong.
I'm just gonna ignore you.
Oh.
Oh, you're sad. Actually, I feel a little bad.
No, you're fine.
So now they start
Okay.
working on the monster. They start getting it ready. Victor.
Which, hold on. They
Would have been
actually
better as an 80s montage. I agree.
Sure. They actually refer to the man as a monster, like, to start off. Why would it, like, it's so negative.
They didn't give him a name like they did for fucking Gordon.
Yeah.
They give him a name.
Gordon's a monkey.
What was the name?
Prometheus.
Tell me it's Adam.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
but he called it Prometheus. Yeah.
Well, at first I thought he called it the monster, and then eventually
No, he does call it the
does
monster. I
call
thought it
it
was.
Prometheus
it was
a few
rude.
times when he raises him.
That's another good movie, Prometheus.
Yeah.
Better than this one.
Well, yeah, that's not hard to do.
All right, continue.
So all of a sudden they're working on the man. They get him. I guess they'd be almost ready to be completed with their project. And Igor's like, "Hey, can I have the night off? Like, I got a hot date
With
tonight
Lorelai.
with Lorelai." And then so he goes out in town, and all of a sudden Igor knows how to dance. Ballroom dance.
Yeah,
the first
get
time
the
in his
fuck out
life.
of here with that.
He's just I don't know.
He's like James Cagney all of a sudden.
Not a name you hear that every day.
Yep.
You're welcome.
So they go back to, I guess, her place, and they do the dirty.
Did they? I missed this part. I checked out real
Well,
early in this movie.
They're making out on the floor, and then it just kind of fades away. So you kind of assume, because his ass is skipping down the street next time we see him.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
got laid. Wait, so tell me, Daniel, because I know that you've seen the Harry Potter movies just as much as me. Does he kiss as badly in this movie?
It's awkward.
Okay, he doesn't know.
In my opinion, like, his acting just hasn't changed.
Okay, this was the controversial thing that I was going to say, but I want to save it until the end. So
Okay.
you keep going.
That's just one comment so far. So he's skipping back to Victor's place to get to work, and there's all these police officers because the inspector decided he's going to barge in without a warrant. So he breaks in, and Victor kind of sneaks in through the back way, goes down, and is like, "No, I mean, sorry, I messed up there." Igor breaks in through the back, and it's like, "Victor, we have to leave. We have to leave. The cops are here. They're trying to break in." So the inspector follows him, comes down. They kind of get in a fight with Victor and the inspector. Victor ends up physically pushing him into one of his, I guess, what would you call it? A conductor, or it's like a wheel.
Something like that.
He's got some sort of part of his experiments. He loses a hand.
That's
looks like, and then he gets. That's how they're able to escape.
Doesn't he lose an eye too?
Yes.
All right. I thought I remembered that.
Yeah, he does lose an eye eventually.
He gets fucked up.
So they escape. They go back to their friend who's giving them the money for all these experiments. Finnegan, and Finnegan decides, well, I have the perfect place down by the sea that you can go to and run away and get this experiment taken care of.
Sorry, Somewhere Beyond the Sea just came into my head. I was about to start singing
Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
Shh, we don't want to get copyrighted.
That's a good point.
Shut your mouth.
I forgot one of the big points is we actually saw the real Igor because he
that was like a big reveal.
He goes, go grab what is the axe? It's an axe or
something
like that, and it's holding one of the freezer door open.
Yeah.
And out is this huge monster Igor that's frozen on ice, it looked like.
Yeah, he's in a block
at least
of ice.
Triple the size of the Igor that we know as Radcliffe. Yeah, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking, how do you fit in that close?
With his eyeballs missing.
Yes. And then you realize the first set of
his
first experiment were his eyeballs.
Yeah, the real Igor had OD'd allegedly, and Victor kept his body like a fucking creep.
Never know. Well, I guess if his whole point was to try and bring people back from the dead, when he figured it out, he was waiting to do it on Igor 1.
Then why did he cut out his eyes?
You could put those back in. It's not a big deal.
Oh, yeah, no big deal.
At this time, he's expert on the nerves.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's so creepy.
So
that just like reminds me, because like this isn't on topic, but it's not off topic either. But it's just like, you both know who like Johnny Knoxville is, I'm assuming.
Who?
Shut up. He broke something in his face within the last like 5-10 years. And it's to the point like if he sneezes too hard, his eyeball will pop out of its socket.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that.
That's gotta hurt.
So gross. So
imagine giving him a pat on the back and his eyeball pops out.
No, I can't. I have a weird thing with eyes. I don't like it.
I'm surprised they're not able to fix that somehow.
I don't know, but just thinking about like, oh yeah, you could just pop it back in. It's just so gross. That's like I can't watch those scenes in like Pirates of the Caribbean when that guy's eyeball pops out.
It's like rolling around on the ground.
It really creeps me.
Oh, it's wood.
It ruins it for me. I can't. It's not funny. I don't like it. Continue.
Him and Victor and Finnegan are all in the room, and at this point, Igor's like, I'm out. I can't be part of this anymore. The real Igor is dead. This is too much for me. Like, I can't handle this. So then Finnegan's like, okay, Victor, you just go off to the castle. I'll meet you up there. And then Igor, I'll escort you away. We thought he was going to be going back with his new girlfriend. Lorelai. But actually, they throw him off a bridge.
Yeah, I thought that was really extreme.
And I found it was extreme because like they don't really tell you like how to get chained up. Like all of a sudden he's just boom. It's like he's in the carriage. He's got his hands. He's got his feet.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was
he's all changed up. And I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was just like, what happened?
And then he's like in the water, and somehow he magically, gets away.
How did he get out?
I don't know. They didn't really. They even kind of like made it seem like he blacked out at the bottom, and then all of a sudden he's in Lorelai's bedroom.
Okay, when that happens, you drown.
Exactly. And then the next scene is he's on the bed in her room, sleeping in different clothes
with his weird folded flesh back. So
you can like store stuff in there. It's like a wallet.
Stop. Ugh. I'm gonna gag. I don't like flesh either, like that. Ugh. Wait until we get into like really freaky, gross movies. I'm not going to do well.
Yeah. Now we're probably at what, 3/4 of the movie?
I hope so.
It's almost.
Can we just skip to like the monster?
Yeah, that's what we're getting to next.
Well, then
he decides with Lorelai that they're going to go chase after Victor, tell him that he's got to stop. He's going to try to stop the experiment. So fast forward, they get there. He's hiding in the woods to to go get to the castle. She's making like a little diversion. Little do we know, she actually runs into the inspector, and then Igor climbs up the side of the castle and sees the huge experiment that's going on with the huge man, Prometheus.
Oh yeah, and that like kind of like cylinder shaped thing.
Yep. And then somehow he climbs down, talks to Victor, and is like, Victor, you have to stop. You can't go through with this.
Yeah, and Victor gets all pissed. He's like, my father sent you. You're trying to ruin me again. Blah, blah. He's a whiny asshole.
Pushes him up against the wall. Then he collapses. Gives him enough time to start the experiment because Finnegan shouts down like, we have to do this. What is it? The storm's coming?
Yeah, they're waiting for the storm.
So they start with the experiment. They raise up the balloons that Matt loves. And then let him behold, we get all the lightning, the classic. It brings the monster partially alive. He pulls the lever, all the energy goes in, brings him to life. And at this point, does he say anything more of like he doesn't go into it's alive?
No, they only do the it's alive when it's with Gordon. Yeah. I think if they did it another time, it would have been so dramatic.
Yeah.
So
the one here, my complaints are right here. When Split is screaming Prometheus and just spitting. I thought that was disgusting and completely obnoxious. And the I will give you life. That fucking drove me nuts.
Prometheus.
And then we see the monster move for the first time.
Yep.
And somehow he's swinging back and forth. They're kind of like, what did you do? And all of a sudden, where'd the monster go? And then you find out he got out.
A very large man just disappeared.
And then Victor approaches him and he starts going, my brother, you are my brother. And we're like, what? You're my brother? And he goes, Henry. And you're like, oh shit, that's his brother Henry somehow. Part of him, at least.
Part of him, yeah. So
what? I missed that completely.
Yeah. And then he realizes that what he has done is not life at all and that he needs to take it back. So he decides that he's going to kill Henry, and he pulls
this whole fucking thing was messed up.
Pole or something out of somewhere, and he breaks it and he's like, I'm gonna go stab Henry.
Yeah, do you think these two bitches could have really jabbed anything through any
the guy's 12 foot tall.
Right.
I'm gonna stab Henry.
12 foot tall. Yep.
Yeah, that was upsetting to me with what little ease they just were able to jam implements through this big ass monster.
Well, don't they shoot the monster?
No, eventually the inspector comes up, and that's part of why the inspector had Victor at gunpoint. That's when the monster became unloose, and then he kind of they kind of where'd he go? And then
free
because he's free. He's swinging, he's swinging back and forth.
He was unloosed.
He was unloosed.
Victor Frankenstein 3 unloosed.
Unloosed.
Dan's dictionary.
Fun fact, the guy who played Frankenstein's monster also played the Wolfman in 2010, and his first movie was a Harry Potter movie.
No shit.
Yeah, he was also Darth Vader in Rogue One.
Wait, what did he play in Harry Potter?
In Prisoner of Azkaban, he was the werewolf, and Order of Phoenix, he was Hagrid's double, and Deathly Hallows Part 2, he was one of the Knights of Hogwarts.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy's done a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he seems kind of like one of those guys that fades into the background, but he's like a main player.
Yeah, and he's just a big dude, so he's just a body.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how does this movie end?
All right, so they all start getting into a fight. He's shooting. The inspector's shooting the gun off at Henry.
Where's Randy Fitzsimmons when you need him? Pew, pew.
The monster puts up a good fight as well. Kills a bunch of people. They all fall into the fire, which is somehow in the middle of this thing. I don't know why.
Because that's where fire needs to be.
All of a sudden. And then they're able to kill it. And then what is it? Radcliffe, he stabs it through the heart the first time, and then he's like, "No, remember, he's got 2 hearts." And then Victor comes up and sacrifices himself and stabs it for the final blow to take out Henry and kill the monster.
Why would they just hit it in the brain?
And then Victor just leaves. He just leaves and leaves, Igor laying there. Does
anybody, besides...
He writes him a letter. He writes him a letter as, "You are my greatest creation."
What, Igor?
Yeah, that's what he did. He wrote him a letter in the end. That was him. Is Igor's riding off into the sunset with his girl, and Victor's in a meadow about to walk away. That's pretty much the ending.
Where the hell's Lorelai?
Lorelai's with
Lorelai.
She's with his man, with her man.
With her man. All right, and that's the end of the movie?
That was the end of the movie.
Well, you know what that means. Before we get into
Turning on my brain.
what?
Turning on my brain. Getting ready.
All right. Before we even get into whether or not we want to recommend this movie or not, we have to do questions of the damned.
Just some tight jazz flute.
Yep. You like it?
I do.
Full transparency. I typically do 5 questions, but
you
today,
wrote
50 questions tonight.
no, tonight there's only 3 because I know the last couple episodes I've been really flopping. There's either I need a tiebreaker, I don't have one, or we talking about the answers.
We need a coin. We need a Monster Madness coin. Flip of a coin.
I'll work on it. But we just so well, I'm going to blame Matt on this one. He just so happened to look up 2 of the questions because this
Cheater.
movie was so bad and had little trivia that I literally had to pull from like monetary facts. So 2 of them are out. So you basically are both 1-1. Now the score is 4-3 Dan. So Matt has the opportunity to tie. So by the time next week rolls around, he could actually come out on top.
If there's one thing I'm going at or good at, it's fucking up.
Tying.
Nope.
I was going to make some joke, but I couldn't come up with anything clever.
Good.
But Matt, as usual, you get the first question because you suck the hardest.
Uh-oh. That means I got to get the next 2 right. Or
Yeah, I mean, this is
Or if I get this one wrong, you have to get it right.
this is like sudden death, guys. All right.
Oh, shit.
You ready?
No.
All right. For this role, how did Daniel Radcliffe achieve that gorgeous mane of hair? He grew it out himself, he had hair extensions, or he wore a wig.
He grew it out.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. God fucking fuck!
hair extensions for the win.
You know a little too much about Daniel Radcliffe's hair.
Possible.
Well, I knew he had other movies at the time that he needed short.
No, he actually had to wear that the entire time. He couldn't, it was sewn into his head.
No, I mean but he had other stuff going on. So before that, he couldn't have had his hair
Oh,
that
yeah.
long.
Yeah, I mean, he grew it out as much as long enough that he had to sew in hair extensions. Anyway, since you got it right, Dan, I give it again to Matt.
All right.
Just change the rules so that I don't horribly lose.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
No, that's fine.
Who was originally set to direct this movie? Sean Levy, Gus Van Sant, Michael Bay.
I haven't heard of the other 2, and Michael Bay seems like the least obvious decision, so I'm going to say Michael Bay. Fine, whatever. This game's stupid anyways.
Was it Shia LaBeouf?
Sean Levy, Gus Van Sant, Michael Bay.
I'm going to go with A.
Sean Levy?
Sure.
Fucking, this is stupid. It's rigged. You're sleeping with him. That's why he's winning. You're giving him... Ah!
All right, this next question will be worth 75 points. Because your anger is just... Oh, no, actually, hold on. I'm not even lying.
I probably got it wrong, didn't I?
No. I have 6 questions. So there is a potential that you could actually...
holding out. She's been holding out this whole time.
My bad.
No,
okay.
we could tie.
Yeah, you could definitely tie, and then we'll flip that coin.
Participation point.
Yeah, we'll flip that coin. Okay, so whose idea was it for Victor Frankenstein to siphon out Igor's abscess? James McAvoy, Daniel Radcliffe, Paul McGuigan, who's the director, or all of the above?
All of the above. The only time you have a fucking all of the above is if that's the answer.
That's not necessarily true. But yeah, I almost actually gave this one up. Those creeps had it written where he just literally drained it out, probably calmly, but they're like, no. What if I fucking siphon it out with my mouth? And they all came up with that scene. So that's why it's so weird.
Yeah.
That makes it worse.
Ugh.
All right, Daniel. Oh, fuck. This is a true or false. So it won't, if you get it wrong, then it's kind of, either way, I think Matt's just going to win this one.
It's true, false, or all of the above.
True or false? There are a lot of nods to the film Young Frankenstein in this movie. I already came up with my tiebreaker, so if you get it wrong or you get it right.
True.
True? All right, so you guys are tied. Can you each tell me at least one nod to Young Frankenstein in the movie?
Does it have to do with the hump? Like he kind of plays with the hump a little bit.
Well,
Also,
hold on.
hold on.
Think in your brain.
Oh, like
Everybody do the little quiet time.
I got a few
I'll hold
things.
this down. You do your little quiet time. If you come up with an answer, you let me know. And then I'll be like, all right, I think you already have your idea.
I got it. I'm ready.
Matt, do you have an idea of maybe?
He already said one.
Oh, I
didn't
did?
I?
Something that he said earlier got me thinking.
All right, Daniel, you say yours.
Well, the one part where he's like, it is life. That kind of like goes back to that. And also when he was the hunchback, like the way that he walked and stuff was kind of like
You only pick one.
Whatever one he doesn't want to use, I'll take the other one. I've never seen Young Frankenstein.
what?
How can this be? Why don't you say that before I fucking go into it? You're not like raise your hand a little bit, just get my attention.
I'll
Be
go
like,
with the hump that I'm talking about.
yeah, you're wrong anyway.
Good. I wanted the other one because I think the other one was right.
No, everything he said was
Both wrong,
wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
What more would they have done? What more did they do?
Okay, so there's two spots where they make a nod to Young Frankenstein. So Young Frankenstein is basically Gene Wilder. He is the grandson of Victor Frankenstein.
Never mind.
But-
I've totally seen it. It's just been a very, very, very long time. For some
Okay,
reason, I
so-
thought that the comedy one was named something else. That's my fault.
Very good. So the one nod is Lorelai says to him, she's like, "Oh, your name is Frankenstein." That's the name that he goes by.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the same scene, Victor kind of just appears out of nowhere when he was like down in the crowd, and then all of a sudden he's right next to them. That's a nod to Young Frankenstein. Sorry, there's a fly.
Oh.
Victor Frankenstein, because the Hunchback in that movie would just appear out of nowhere when he was in a completely other area.
So
It's a tie again, so now it's 5-4.
neither one of us.
No, one of you is going to pull through. I mean, you're still winning. It's still a tie, 5-4. So you both get points.
That's lucky.
No, I doubt it. I think he's genuinely just this bad.
I'm not good at trivia. I'm a pretty bad test taker.
All the above.
I was trying here, and I had two other questions,
Or
but
you're
you know,
like, I haven't picked C in a while.
Dick fuck over
Definitely
here
C.
had to be like, "Oh, let me look up the budget."
I was curious if it didn't make any money.
Because literally, my question was, what was the budget of this film? 65 million, 100 million, 75 million, 65. And then how much did it gross worldwide? 250 million, 50 million, or 35 million? 35.
35 million.
Life is beautiful.
I have things I want to say
Uh-oh.
because now we're at the recommend and not recommend part.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'm taking over right now because I have things to say.
Let's hear it.
Don't watch this movie. Period. End of story. It's not good. It kind of like brings shame to the whole Frankenstein. Mary Shelley is turning over in her grave.
Mm-hmm.
But I've said this before. This movie was really good on paper. The idea of from the person who would be closest to Frankenstein to kind of tell the story and the narrative from that third party perspective is really cool because you don't have any other character that could do that. Obviously, the monster can't. And obviously, Frankenstein in this film doesn't have any love interest, so they can't. So I thought it was a really unique way of doing that and like have that kind of origin story. But what missed the landing was shoddy writing, I think, because like they rushed through a lot of stuff. Like I thought like the relationship between Victor and Igor could have been established better before they're like, we're genius scientists, let's work together, and you're not a hunchback anymore.
High five.
Yeah. I thought that could have like been drawn out a little bit because this movie actually wasn't that long, but it felt long.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, I think that they really made bad choices casting Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy as the leads.
No,
I don't
they
think-
just had one or the other.
I don't think they should have had either of them. Now, James McAvoy is really good in period pieces and stuff like that. Like he's really great in this movie called Atonement that I like. I mean, he's all right in the X-Men movies. I mean, those movies for me, I just enjoy them for what they are. I don't really look too much like deeply into them. And then there's Daniel Radcliffe, which is like the controversial thing that I'm going to say is that I think he is a completely overrated and shitty actor. He was good, I would say, in the first 3 Harry Potter films. Then the 4th one is blech. 5, he's all right. But then 6 and like the last 2, I just felt like he doesn't know how to convey And I'm not an actor, so I don't know how they tap into like those emotions and stuff like that. But like, he doesn't know how to convey sorrow well. So when, like, for Harry Potter, for instance, it starts off, I mean, the whole story has a dark underbelly the whole time. But I would say like the first 2 movies and books are children's stories. But then as soon as you hit the third one, it starts to get really, really dark. And then it kind of turns into like this very dark and macabre story. Once it did that, and he had to kind of flip a switch from being like this little kid who didn't really understand what was going on to like dealing with elements of death and depression and all this other stuff. He didn't know how to do that. He doesn't know how to convey sadness. So to convey a character that literally has been tortured and lived a shitty life with no name his entire life, he didn't know how to do it. What about you guys? I went real deep.
Yeah, this movie sucks. Don't watch it.
You couldn't say it any better.
I know. I'm just that good. I'm because I did think about this a lot because when I read the synopsis for the movie, I was like, oh, I think I'm actually really gonna like this because it's unique. But I don't think the pair of them have chemistry on screen together at all. Like, I wouldn't look at them like, maybe, yeah, they're friends in real life. That's great. But like, I don't look at them and see them as partners because like that was like the whole thing. I mean,
I would say, like, I wouldn't recommend this movie either. I see what you're saying with Radcliffe. He's only had one big role. It's been Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Even the way that he walks in this movie, he doesn't change too much. He doesn't really change much about his approach to acting.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think
the best part of it was probably the intro when he's talking and you don't even see him.
Yeah.
And the outro when he's talking
and you don't even see him.
But for the most part, like, he started off with trying to be this over eccentric, hunchback with like dragging a leg, then not dragging a leg, then kind of like skipping. Like, you didn't see too much consistency just in that as when he was early on in the hunchback. And then you didn't really even see him go from being weak to strong as Igor.
Yeah.
He's kind of always just, it's kind of seemed like he was weak the entire time, where there's a significant amount of time come by. His character could have gotten stronger. I felt like.
Yeah. I mean, for Daniel Radcliffe, like, his only baseline is the fact that he was thrusted into superstardom when he was a kid, and he never really has to work for much again in his life. And like, he's like pretty much the only one, I would say, and it's really kind of disheartening when you're actually a really big fan of Harry Potter. Like, I know I am, and Daniel is. I know that you've seen the movies and stuff like. But like, I grew up reading those books. They were like really influential parts of my life and stuff like that. Same for Daniel. Like, in this room alone that we're sitting in, because it's our office, we have like a huge bookshelf to our right, and we have 2 copies of each book that are like our copies and like a couple other spares. Like, we have a lot of them. So like, he's been pretty much the only person from those films to kind of try to get away from them as fast and far away as possible. And I get that. Yeah, I really do.
Emma Watson did a few things too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Emma Watson chose to live her life. She still knows where.
Well, I think the other thing is, like, when you think about other actors from that realm of Harry Potter, you think about, like, even for her, she stands out as a very good actor because she's so diverse with all the stuff that she's done with Perks of a Wallflower. She's got, all the other stuff with the new Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, no, but
for him, he's always sticking to like these odd roles.
Yeah, because he's trying to not be typecast. And so after Harry Potter, which came out, like, okay, so they finished filming that whenever, probably like 2010, and then it came out the next year because they did the last 2 back to back. The next couple years, he's doing the Lady in Black, I think he did next. Yeah. And I think that was his first major role after Harry Potter. Then he's doing something like this. He does a movie where he plays I don't know what it is. He was like some mythical creature. He had horns. I remember that. He's done a couple TV shows and stuff like that. He's trying to get as far away from those movies as possible. And I get it. You don't want to be
portrayed as Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's like the same thing. Cause I just actually watched an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, because like all the new Halloween stuff is coming out, and she's talking about like everybody talks about her being like the number one scream queen. She's like, yeah, but I only did those movies until about 1981, 82. And then I went and did, A Fish Called Wanda, Trading Places, and blah, blah. She's like, I said to myself, I'm never going to do a horror movie again because I'm going to get typecasted. Now, he didn't really have too much of a choice because he's signed on for a character that has 7 books, 8 films, and blah, 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 blah. But
I think he had a point where there was probably a part in his career where he could have turned down good roles. We don't know.
But even if he did, I just still don't think he has the depth because he's playing himself as Harry Potter. Like he's not bringing anything to that role. Like when you look at the other characters,
I don't think Matt. Have you seen them?
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen them all?
Yeah.
All right, just checking.
Yeah, we wouldn't be friends if he didn't.
I'm just checking.
I mean,
no, he's just not as deep as I am when I'm thinking about it because it makes me mad because like we started the season off watching like these Universal monster movies, and yeah, while they're not the greatest movies to our standards in the 21st century,
they're better than this.
Yeah, and it's because there's actual like depth. And that's shocking to say from a movie that came out in the 30s that it had more feeling and heart in it than this. Like you look at the costumes, you look at the set designs, you look at the CGI and the graphics of this movie, and they're really good. But then you had these 2 like idiots like hosting everything. Jesus Christ, this fly. It's me now.
I feel like they tried to they overdid it with the amount of CGI.
I didn't think that CGI was too bad.
I felt like they tried to carry.
I liked it better than what we saw in. We haven't talked about the Wolfman yet, but I have seen it. But once we get into that, like that CGI is terrible in comparison to this.
I didn't mind it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that next week. But either way, all around, it is a not recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my brother Henry, forgive me. I have wronged you. For this is not life. This is not life.
That is going to do it for this episode of the Monster Madness podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could be so kind, head on over to iTunes. Make sure you're subscribing, rating, reviewing, doing all that jazz. It just helps people find the podcast and letting people know what you're listening to. We think we're a good time, so join us. While you can actually watch on Patreon the video while Matt sternly yells at his dog in silence.
No, it's because he keeps barking.
It's okay.
And if you are watching, we thank you.
We do thank you. But yes, you can go over to Patreon. That's /Monster Madness and become a Patreon. We have a couple tiers that you can join on, whichever you feel more comfortable with. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We even have a Tumblr. I don't even think you guys know that. We do have a Tumblr.
I just learned that.
There you go. What are we, like 6-7 weeks into this?
Yep.
Yeah, you can follow us on that. You can email us at monstermadnesspod. Which dog is that?
It's Dieter.
Hi, Dieter.
Hi, Dieter.
Dieter is going to sign us off.
Do something.
He's just going to lick your nose.
Yep. This is my life. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll get you on the next one.
See you later.
Father, the work I'm doing here is far more important than anything they're conducting at that damn
You're
school.
a fool, Victor. You always have been. If only you could have been more like Henry. But you just bring shame to the name Frankenstein.
I will ensure that the name of Frankenstein is never forgotten.
What does it mean to be all in? It means you're confident you're doing the right thing. You commit to it. For Dominion Energy, we're all in on helping the environment. We're all in on clean energy, all in on solar, all in on building the nation's largest offshore wind farm. We're even capturing the methane from local farms to create renewable natural gas. We're not doing it because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the right thing to do. For your family and friends, your neighbors and your community, for the future, for our planet. Dominion Energy. Actions speak louder.